we're now going to have a look at doing a couple of projects using the Keeping It Natural collection. So we're going to start with the pearl hexagon frames. So these are lovely. So it's giving you 7 different frames, but we're actually giving you 21 dies. I put mine on a magnetic sheet because I find it easier. So you get your outside, your inside, and also your detail frame. But so those 3 together there make your frame. But what you can do is you can pick up different dies to make different width frames. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I have actually picked up the detail, so that's actually an inner frame and I'm using it as my outside. Then I've got my detail and then I've actually got one of the outside ones as an inner frame. So you can just see I've just spaced out the gaps between there so that when I put this over the top, we're now going to cut out our frame and it's going to cut it out as a different width. So that's what's so useful. So officially it's 7 frames, but you can create so many more different sizes just by mixing and matching the dies around. Now you can do solid layers, you can do card shapes with this, you can do so much, but I just wanted to show you how this is cut out. Oh, there we go, a lovely frame. Can you see? We've got our beautiful frame with the detail outside and inside and then the pin dot detail running down the middle. So that's that bit. Let's bring in the rest of my card here. Let's take those bits off for now. So what you'll see I've done here is I've used one of the outside dies to create a 10-fold card. So we've just got the detail there. Now you'll see because we've folded it, there's no detail at the top. So I've just cut another layer. But this time I've put the pin dot one in. So I've used the one where it's right next to it. Unlike here where there's a bit of a gap, we've got the one right next to it. And we'll put that onto our card base. Now I am going to glue the base, not the topper, so that I know the glue's in the right place. But at this point I could turn this into an easel card if I wanted to, but we're just going to have it as a regular 10-fold. So it's up to you. If you fold it again, you can change the shape of your card. So a little bit of glue. Remember with your bookbinding glue, it goes sticky quicker if you don't use too much. So then I'm just going to line it up and put that one on. And that now is a perfect front. Can you see? So whereas we had the straight edge before, we've now got the decal at the top. And if I just squeeze that tight a minute, you can see I've now got a perfect 10-fold card. So when I've gone down a size of my dies, so that we've now cut it out of the cardstock. So this cardstock is in the collection. So this is your pattern cardstock that you get. It's lovely. I think it was 270 GSM. I don't think it was 300. I'm sure it was 270. It's slightly coated, so you get a lovely sheen to it. And then you've got the most amazing patterns. But can you see how they're like multi-layered patterns? I can go right back and I've almost got like this crumpled paper. Then I've got the text on it with some more text over the top. I've got my key, I've got the bee, I've got some foliage, and then I've got this beautiful flower that I've been able to cut out for the bottom left hand corner. So then I'm going to take the frame. So I've already got one that I've cut out here, but I've put foam tape on the back. So I'm just going to tape the back off the foam tape. It's exactly the same as the one that we just cut a minute ago. I'm going to do. So these can be as complex or as simple as you want them to be. And this one's going to be quite clean and simple. Even though we've got the pattern paper, we're going to keep it looking quite lovely. So that's going to go there. And then I can pop that on here. So can you see how that pattern is just coming down across the card? Now the other thing I've done is I've used the smallest one, some of the smallest ones from the centre. I've stamped a sentiment onto some white card, cut it out, and then cut out a matte layer for that as well. And I'm just going to pop that onto here. And that's going on there. Now I'm not going to stick that on for a minute because we're going to do a little bit more die cutting. There we go, just press that on. So that's going to go on there. Now let's move that out of the way for a minute and clear off here, and then we can do a little bit more cutting. So get those out of the way, put them back onto the magnetic sheet. So what I've got here is I've got my charisma. Now this is double-sided charisma, and this is for the Apricot Beauty Crescent. So this is the crescent and this is all of the decoupage layers. So we can pop these on here, and I'm just going to lift that up. See if I can see my cut tidy. I had it a minute ago. No, I've moved. Ah, there it is. Got it. I'm going to pop that down, and I'm going to pop my flower onto here. So I've got my dies. So here's my main die, and that's going to go onto there. And then I've got my decoupage. So this is what we call a swift die. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 die cuts. So when this cuts, you'll see 4 different pieces when it's finished. Always tape it down, and there you go. Your Charisma is your artwork, and it's perfectly sized. Can you see? Fits absolutely perfect for your dies. There we go. And that's going to go on there. Now, the other thing I've got is I've got my cute friends. And again, this is double-sided. Now, I don't know which is side A and which is side B at the minute. So I'm going to get, oops, the little kitten. And yeah, I picked the right side. And I'm just going to cut that out. I could have cut the duck out as well, but we'll just cut the little kitten for now. Now, with these, you get your foundation layer as well. And I've already cut that one out to give me a white layer. And I'll show you why in a minute. So take those like that, and then we can run that through the die cutting machine. Pop that through there. Let's clear up and give ourselves a little bit of space. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need my foam mat and my ball tools, and I've got my pin flare glue gel. You can do this with foam pads, but you always see me using my pin flare glue gel because I just find it works so much easier. It's warming up nicely. There we are. So can you see this is double-sided, so it's actually cut perfectly into that second side. So that means that when you look at the edge here, hopefully you can pick this up, there is no white edges. So it's curled, but because we've got the ink on both sides, you've actually got perfect colour right to the edge of your die cut. But it also means that if you want to put that onto acetate or onto an aperture, both sides are going to look lovely. So let's just pick up all the pieces. There we go. I've got them here, there. And then the same with our cute little kitten. There we are. And we can pop him out. Pop through. There we go. Isn't that gorgeous? And then on the back, it's got the image as well. So we can move those out of the way. There we go. So how do we make up the flower for our apricot beauty? Get the name right. So like I said, you get 5 pieces of decoupage and your main one. So I'm going to get my ball tool, and I'm just going to turn it onto the back, and I'm just going to shape it. Just shaping it a bit. Now this is quite a heavyweight cardstock for this sort of thing, so I have to add a little bit of pressure. So just shape it from the back. And the great thing is, because it's double-sided, you can actually make mirror images for if you want to do put them either side of a circle or an aperture, because you can actually shape it from the front and use the back as your front, if I'm making sense there. You can flip them over. Okay, so I take this largest piece. Now all of your dies are numbered to show you where they go. So you've got flower A, and then you've got piece A1, A2, so you know where they layer up. But it's really simple because basically that's the only place that one can fit, isn't it? Then I've got this one, and that, can you see that point there? Is that point there? That's how I do it. Just find one point within your flower and match that one up, and that matches up just there, and that's going to be like that. And then, oh, that was a good guess. I got the right side first time. Little bit of the glue gel, and pop, that's moved a little bit. There we go. Pop that on there. Oops. There we go. And then that one goes onto there, and that's going on there. Now look at that. Look at all of the dimension you've got in there. Can you see? Really detailed. Now I do actually have one here that's nice and dry, so I can use that one for our project. And I've also got my little kitten, and we're going to pop it on here. Now look at this one that I've got. Can you see on here? I've used my glossy accents to go over the glass. So that actually looks really cute. I'm going to use this one. So it looks like you've got a change of texture. Can you see you've got the printed and then the shiny just by using the glossy accents on there. Let's just put a little bit of glue gel behind there. And we can lift him up just ever so slightly on there. Right, if I bring the card back in, I'm just going to show you. If I put the little kitten in without the white behind. Can you see how he blends into the background of the paper? And you just sort of lose him a little bit. If I take him back and then I put him in with the white layer behind, can you see how it outlines the kitten and just makes him pop even more? And that's what we're looking for. We're just looking for that edge to give us that, you know, just to outline it and make it really clear. So again, I'm going to just use my glue gel. You could do this flat if you wanted to. I'm going to tuck it inside the frame at that end and then pop it over there. And then I'm going to get my flower where we're going to put our sentiment. Should we put it under there? I think that should do. So we can put a bit of glue down there. Pop that on there, making sure I don't come off the bottom of my card. Otherwise it's not going to stand. And then we can just run this down here. Again, you see we've got the pattern on the back if we wanted to make this aperture so it's visible. And that's really nice to put it so it comes over the sentiment so it doesn't look like an afterthought. How about that? It's really simple, but really effective. Now, if you wanted to, you could, I was going to show you, you could actually put a second, actually I like that. We're going to have to change plan. We'll change plan. I'm going to put a second flower on. We're going to put a bit more on. Told you, I always change what I'm going to do. Let's put that just there. Put that on there. Oh, I like that even more. There we go. How about that? So we have got our Pearl Hexagon foundation dies, we've got our Cute Friends, and we've got our Apricot Beauty Crescent.